So tonight, me and Mom went to the Willow Inn, where for karaoke night I first sang Yellow by Coldplay, since I heard that song in the past. Then I sang Clocks by Coldplay, since that's the other of the two Coldplay songs out of all the songs they've ever done that I've heard in the past. And so for the third song, I initially wanted to sing Cold, Cold Man by Saint Motel, but the karaoke host didn't have that song. So I ended up singing Still Loving You by the Scorpions instead. Then for the fourth song, I decided to sing one of my classics. That is one of my classic songs that I sing, Suddenly Seymour by Ashman Howard. And then for the last song, I sang Purple Rain by Prince. I was initially going to sing Sweet Child O' Mine by Guns N' Roses, but Mom ended up suggesting that I should sing Purple Rain by Prince, since I played that song on my phone after I played Soak Up the Sun by Sheryl Crow. And this was between frequently checking for news updates regarding the crisis in Ukraine, the conflict in Ukraine. I think around the time of the first, or I think most likely the second karaoke song, they opened the grill at 6 p.m. We went there at 5 p.m. and so it was around 6 p.m. That was also the start of karaoke that I placed the order for a cheeseburger plate with some meat sauce, tater tots, and I applied ketchup on it after it came out. It's more likely this around the time of the second song I did, since it took time for that garbage plate to be cooked. The order for the deep fried pretzel sticks and the cheese sauce, both of which I ended up microwaving for about a minute total. That order was placed around the time of the last karaoke song I did tonight, Purple Rain by Prince. Around 9:40 p.m. since karaoke was only until 10 tonight. I think this is supposed to be cheese sauce. It's the only thing I found alongside the deep fried pretzel sticks, the bag that contained it. In between karaoke songs, I worked on a new holiday wreath, except instead of it being Christmas themed, I decided to go with a Valentine's Day theme because we're currently in late February, and Valentine's Day this year passed without me making a Valentine's Day themed styrofoam drawing to give to someone. Although I at last got the Valentine's Day present Mom got for me when I got back from Dad's today. It was somewhere around maybe 3 p.m. since we initially left around 1 p.m., but then Dad took me out for more driving lessons, during which we practiced turning the steering wheel, signaling, easing into braking, and accelerating while turning in order to turn better, but you only give it a gentle pressure. When we got back to Mom's place, after the driving lessons, we then went to a nearby Wegmans close to where Dad is. We returned some bags of mostly plastic and aluminum bottle deposits, and then Dad used those deposits to save money on some groceries we got. Then he brought me back to Mom's place. And the whole time, I brought with me the wrapped up cowboy styrofoam drawing and the unwrapped Founders styrofoam drawing, since the Founders styrofoam drawing isn't finished yet because today I focused on working on the 99th Dan Hamming episode. I added some extra dialogue into the last raw video file, or the part between the witness and the officers within the hospital lobby scene. Adding in that extra dialogue ended up creating some issues with the scenes, since I essentially added stuff in the middle unplanned, so I kind of had to do whatever I could to fix the resulting issues that came from that. Probably disrupting the original creative vision. Yeah, prior to Dad and I leaving for that small little errand run, we closed down just about everything on my laptop so I could smoothly turn it off for the first time I had in a while, in order to essentially restore RAM and get it to run smoothly. I'm just glad I took care of getting those voice lines for those extra scenes. Since for that, the voice lines for that particular scene, the text-to-speech voices, I had to either run the Android narrators app through BlueStack 5, or that were offline, all while using streaming audio recorder as an audio recorder. I ultimately decided to leave House 7 within Stronghold Kingdoms. So I'm currently not in a house within Stronghold Kingdoms, but I'm doing okay. In exchange for quitting, I essentially got some safety for now. Plus, I was supposed to get to be the steward of Wolfsburg Parish, but another crown prince, prince in this case, I'm a crown princess, ended up voting themselves steward of Wolfsburg Parish, because essentially I had just opened up a village there because I was just given permission to move into Wolfsburg Parish and rule that parish. And I'm still currently in charge of the steward of 4 parishes, because in those parishes, essentially, I'm the only one with a village left. I don't know if House 15 members destroyed those villages, or if whoever controlled those villages had them willingly destroyed, but either way, in those parishes, I was the only one with a village left. As a result of extending the hospital lobby scene between the witness and the officers, I I had to work to extend the news video video, which is meant to have the audio depict likely either some kind of TV show or some kind of movie involving a struggling vet who essentially is facing difficulty finding work. To extend that video so that it plays until the end of the longer hospital lobby scene, I added in a scene where his wife knocks on the bedroom door and asks if he, who I decided to name John, needs anything before heading off to work. And for John's wife, I decided to, after playing around with some of the new high quality text-to-speech voices, which uses a neural network to try and sound more like actual speech, but it still kind of sounds like a typical text-to-speech voice based off the handful I tested before settling on the female text-to-speech Cora. And then John responded that I had John respond that he packed lunch last night and have a snack to tide me over. Initially it was no thanks, I packed a lunch last night, but Grammarly had a problem with I packed a lunch last night. They wanted me to instead say no thanks, I packed a lunch last night, so I did. Then I typed out and have a snack to tide me over. But Grammarly wanted me to change have to had. And I couldn't do that since canonly, John won't eat the snack to tide me over until lunch, until later in the day. Presumably maybe around 11 or noon. 11 in the morning or noon. Not around what could be as early as 6 in the morning, depending on what kind of work John does. But yeah, I managed to extend the scene, but now I'm thinking of adding in a inhale, exhale sort of sound effect at the very beginning. There was a point while I was at the Willow Inn where I stopped working on the Valentine's Day wreath because there wasn't a certain shade of green. I didn't really have time to carefully pick out which styrofoam Sharpie markers I would need for this spontaneous reef styrofoam drawing in order to have a styrofoam drawing to occupy myself with that would be simple enough to work on while at the Willow Inn. So I just had to bring essentially a tin box full of random Sharpie markers, quite a bit, and hope that all of those Sharpie markers would be of the colors I would need for the project. I managed to get some work done before I ran into a problem of there not being a certain shade of green that I needed in order to complete the different foliage designs of the reef before filling all the gaps in with a dark green Sharpie marker. This is where I'm at currently on the research tree. Earlier, around roughly 3 p.m., when Mom unwrapped the cowboy styrofoam drawing, she really liked it. I knew she would like something like cowboys, hence why I at one point got the idea to give it to her as I worked on it. She posted it to Facebook on the way to the Willow Inn, and from Mom's reaction and conversations she had with Dad before he left, along with her friends' comments on the post, I got a lot of kind feedback on that particular styrofoam drawing. And now the future has some future projects to work on. I may or may not give the Valentine's Day reef styrofoam drawing as a gift. The only time will tell, although I haven't yet opened any of the stuff I got for Valentine's Day except for the pants, but Mom deemed that pair of new pants to be a bit too snug, so I ended up wearing a different pair of pants to the Willow Inn. I haven't opened the envelope, which likely almost certainly contains a card, either from Mom or relatives on her side of the family, from them to me. Haven't opened it yet since it seems like Mom should be with me when I opened the card, and we ended up being too busy with our karaoke night at the Willow Inn. And I also haven't opened the big Hershey's chocolate heart yet either.